start.
Let's get it started. New Eden. A galaxy made up of salt, broken relationships, and the $10 scam. A galaxy where you can get a happy ending, but only if you pay a little extra. A galaxy home to a podcast greater than the Catskill Academy, Trekcast, and Echoes from the Front combined. Live on Discord, it's the Echoes of New Eden podcast. We bring you the finest in little-known facts from around the galaxy since 2020. If it's almost news, we'll cover it. And welcome everybody to Echoes of New Eden podcast. I am your host, Rambo. And today, I'm actually not joined by Taylor Rick. I'm actually joined by Jubilee today. How's it going?
Hello, everybody. I don't know. Let's see how the show will go.
Yes, Jubilee just woke up, and so we threw him right into a co-host position for tonight's show.
Actually, I didn't sleep at all.
Oh, okay.
I just stay up awake.
I figured you would have fallen asleep on me since it is pretty late, or I guess early in the morning your time. And so earlier when we were talking, I was telling you to grab some energy drinks and stuff, and try and stay awake for the guest portion of the podcast. So, but anyway, it's good to have you here, and you'll do all right. It's all right. How well are you at talking in front of a live audience? 0, 1 to 10, because I'm not that great. If I can do it, I think anybody could do it. So.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, of course, but you know, it's good that I don't see the audience in front of me. I'm kind of in the forest at my cottage, so I can't see any people, so it's okay.
That reminds me, you sent me, back when we were talking a few weeks ago about you coming onto the show as a guest, you sent me this background image that I have on my PC, or in my view. This is of your backyard, right? People can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see it right now, but let's see. I try to remember what pictures I sent to you.
Yeah, you sent me a couple with a couple canoes, or not kayaks. I think they're canoes, and they're covered with snow. And then you sent me this one that was nighttime. It was at the lake, and had the sunrise or sunset off in the distance. It was pretty dark, so people could see it on the stream. But
yeah,
it's a beautiful picture.
It's right in my. It's a kind of in my backyard. Yeah, I have this big lake in the backyard, and sometimes I take pictures. But you know, I don't sell pictures or anything. I just do it for fun.
Right. And so, Jubilee, for those that don't know you, you happen to be another official content creator that creates, I guess, a bunch of different types of videos. You do PvP videos, you do kind of explanation videos and such. For the audience that may not know you, tell them about your channel.
Oh, that's hard. I kind of think of myself of like a stuntman of Eve Echoes. You know, just kind of taking a ship and doing some stunts and trying to film the videos like from a blind pilot's perspective. So I'm not like a good FC or like a genius in strategy. I just play the game like a regular person, and then I started to film videos to make it more exciting. I've played Eve Online, and then I played the Eve Echoes, so it's kind of started to be a really boring game for me. So I had to kind of make this kind of filming videos to make it more exciting.
Right. And you do everything on an iPad, right?
Yeah, I use a semi-old iPad 2020 model. It's the cheaper one. So I guess Taylor has the good iPad, the Pro version with all sorts of gadgets and whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'm always kind of like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know those things have that ability. But yeah, old iPad and just the basic iMovies app, what you get for free. Then you just edit everything on the iPad.
All right, don't give away all your secrets now. But yeah,
No, I have
like I was,
plenty of secrets.
but I have the iPad 2020 Pro as well, the 12.9, so the largest one, and it runs the game phenomenally, no issues whatsoever. So highly recommend for people to play on at least the tablets like that. I have the latest and greatest
Yeah.
phones too, and those are good. But yeah, good stuff, man. All right, yeah, we're going to get into the bread and butter of today's show. We're going to talk about the game news, the announcements, the events, all that stuff. We had the content creator clash happen earlier today, so if you have not seen that, I did share. Taylor Rick hosted it and recorded it, so from his view, you got to on YouTube, you can see all the battles happen. I believe it was about an hour and a half long between all the battles and all the brackets, and ultimately to the winner. And we'll talk about that after the game news. And then I guess nothing really much else was happening in New Eden. I do have one subject to talk about, but otherwise it's been a pretty quiet week in New Eden. It's odd. Usually it's a little bit more hectic, but it's odd. How's it going, Cracklin? All right. So everybody should be able to see my screen. I'm going to cut over to the Eve Echoes Discord, and we're going to go straight into the announcements. And so starting from 627 was the first announcement we have not covered, though in this last episode we did cover the winners of the Science Sea Cup, but here they announced the top 3 corps, that being CRB, X. So X was first place, second place was CRB, and third place was FKG Black Screen. And so I seen a lot of people actually talk about this image as far as FKG using the MAGA. How do you say it? Manga or MAGA avatar picture. People are like, how the heck do you do that? And honestly, I don't know how they're able to get that to go through, but I also did notice with FKG, they changed their banner that they supplied. That's not their actual in-game banner just yet. I'm guessing that they're going to get a new one, and if that's the banner and then that's their corp logo, then that'll be pretty funny too. But I just seen a lot of people questioning that. So there's your top 3 corps. And as far as prizes go, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure X Corp will all get Sciences or as the reward, but not really sure as to what exactly the rewards will be. If it's like opt boxes or ships or implant opt boxes, stuff like that. I'm just not 100% sure. Nothing's really been said in the Science Sea Cup channel about that, so I guess it's a wait and see. Then we had a update last week, and it seemed to have broke the game. This isn't the first time that it's happened. Yeah, it's not the first, and it won't be the last, but they seem to have had some login problems. And this happened actually while I was asleep, so it actually never even affected me, but I did see this. And they did issue that compensation this week, and I'm pretty sure they gave us like some amethyst cores. It was a bunch of stuff rather than just skill points, so it was pretty decent of them. And this week's Q&A. I've actually seen a couple of content creators cover the Q&A in their own aspects so far this week, but for Echoes of New Eden, we shall cover the developer Q&A. And Taylor's not here. Traditionally, he's the one that reads them, but here we are. I'll get to it these days, and hopefully I don't talk too fast or screw up my words too often, because that we all know that happens. But getting to the first one here.
You sound very good. Continue.
I almost sound like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So with the first question here, question is, there is a growing frustration among players who feel Echoes is pushing capital ships and PvE PvP activity. Oh, I forgot to put this back up on the screen. There we go. At the expense of lighter ship classes and industry. Is fair effort being made to incentive players into lighter ships and non-PvP activities? The answer, Cloud seemed to have answered at least these questions. We understand that some players may feel left out, and we apologize for any frustration this may have caused. We are working on incentivizing lighter ship players and are considering adding gameplay that restricts tonnage. So these are things that we've expected for a while now, but you know, when NetEase says, "Oh, we're going to get small ship content," we happen to get cruisers and greater, right? We ended up getting cruisers and battleships and more capital stuff and all of that. And a lot of people that fly destroyers and frigates primarily, you know, we're having a lot of things to say about the lack of content for the small ships. But as NetEase Cloud says here, that they are actually looking to add more of the lighter ship stuff for those players and adding gameplay that restricts tonnages. So like DR is a good one. Faction warfare restricts tonnages. I don't know if they'd include some sort of missions or exploration items that would be specific to tonnage, but it's an idea, and it does seem like they are working on it. So I know there's a lot of people that are mad about that. It's understandable. When I think of small ship, I think of a battleship at this point. I'm kind of used to it, but capitals is where it's at. Sorry. So capitals is where
I think. Yeah, I think when like NetEase refers to small ships, it's like sub-capital ships, like everything below capital ships, they consider it as a small ship.
Right.
So it's kind of random. Is it going to be frigates or battleships or something in between?
Well, they say lighter ship players. So I have a feeling that they know, with the amount of feedback that they've gotten about that specific issue and the frustration that it's caused, that they will actually put some of that stuff in there. So yeah, we'll get more frigates, and we already know that we're going to get more ships anyway. It's just like it wasn't last month. It may be a month or two down the road, we'll end up getting more newer ships that happen to be lighter ships, and then Capital Pilot's going to be like, "Oh, why are we getting these little ships? So you can't do anything with these." You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if they release a frigate tomorrow, I have no use for it. I skilled completely out of, well, actually I can't say that. On one character, I skilled completely out of frigates because it's battleship and mining. That's it.
No.
That's all that character does. Yep.
But I can really say that I use frigates and the smaller ships basically only for PvP, not like ratting or stuff. Battleship is just much better and faster and like making money.
Granted,
doesn't really make sense
when
to fly in a frigate.
When we were all T4, T5, you know, destroyers and ratting was actually a thing, and using frigates and speed tanking back in the day, if people remember, you could speed tank a Dead Space 10 with a bunch of T4 frigates. I mean, my corp was doing that. I'm sure others were doing it, but that was prior to them fixing the fact that the rats were spawning in space with no weapons on them. So it was a bit easier back in the day to be able to do stuff like that. Nowadays, they've had optimizations for E-War. They actually put guns on the ships. And it's a bit harder to do normal ratting in a frigate nowadays. That's why battleships are king. That's why capitals are king when it comes to ratting and doing missions. You just make so much more money, especially in null. Now, if you want to go to high sec and do T3 and get your rocks off on some T3 missions in a frigate, go right ahead. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I think it'd be kind of a waste of a time, but, you know, people do that. Maybe to some players, that's all they can do. So, all right, we'll get on to the next question. To the dev team, does it ever come up in your discussions that it would be a good idea to make the corporation's missions available to alpha players? Most of the players in our corp are actually new players who sometimes struggle. It would be a great way to keep new players interested in the game if they had more things to do. Also, it would give them a way to help out as corp members. This is a great way to engage folks who tend to get bored before they have a chance to learn the ropes in Echoes. Cloud comes back and says, thank you for your feedback. At the current time, corporation missions will not be accessible for alpha players. However, after we optimize the new player reward system, more content will be available to them. Stay tuned for updates. Yeah, the Corp mission system was a good system that they implemented as far as Corp transfers, new members to the Corp. So say you did have somebody that was a mega and you wanted to maybe do some tax evasion through the corporation wallet. They weren't able to do that because the Corp wallet restricts new members after 7 days. So, you know, within 7 days, you can't do anything with the wallet. You can't take out, you can't put in, you can't use hangers, all that type of stuff. With Corp missions, that was actually a good way to get around that. Now, I think literally the majority of my members in my corp are all Omega characters. And so generally, for the most part, you don't have to worry about this issue happening in probably a lot of corps. But you do have a lot of corps that are taking in newer players. So therefore, you know, they may not have Omega. I think I spent 3 weeks in the game, maybe 4 weeks in the game as an alpha player at the start before I actually committed to, okay, this is a game that I would want to pay monthly for. And so since then I have been. You know, so there's kind of that time frame for players that want to commit to the game. They don't know if they should and are still alpha. Now, some of the ones that are like 800, 900 days plus and still an alpha, okay, those are questionable, but okay. If you want to use Corp missions and you're 800 days into the game, get Omega. I don't know what your problem is. First of all, you've wasted a lot of time skilling up just to max out at T7, you know. That's a pretty old character to have just as an alpha character and not being used. But, you know, as they say here, they did give a hint that they're going to optimize a new player reward system. So I'm curious whether that will be part of the corporation mission system, part of the tutorial. I'm not really sure as to how they're going to implement this new player reward system, or if it's going to be another tab on the events page and it says, oh, log in for 7 days and you get this. Possible? Don't know. But they say more content will be available to them as in alpha players. So I guess we'll have to stay tuned for updates.
Yeah, and we old players probably get the new player rewards as well.
I logged in today on a couple of my characters just to move them out of the systems that they were previous in because they were just sitting in space and I wasn't doing anything with them. They're alpha characters. They're on my same account as my main. So whenever I log into that account, I'm always on my main. I forget about my other 2 corps that I'm holding basically with those characters. But I logged those characters in, and there was one specifically where I hadn't logged in probably months. And I logged in, and it's one of those that says, "Oh, welcome, welcome so and so back to the corporation." And I had to go through all the welcome back screens and how to answer their questionnaire and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, yes, I get it. I know, blah blah blah. I just been having that character stagnant in space. I haven't been using it, and it really. I wish that you could take characters off of a login profile and put them onto other profiles. That would be great. And I'd probably actually use more characters in that sense.
Yeah, when I started the game, you can create 3 characters on your account, but like only one will get the skill points, kind of like have the Omega active. So the other ones are kind of extra. So it makes more sense that you create like separate accounts if you want to have like how do you say, the multi-boxing kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the extra characters, in EVE Online there was a reason to have the extra accounts. You could do planetary, like the planetary harvesting with all your accounts. Then you log in like once a day, then you harvest the planets, and then you get like lots of materials. I remember I had like 36 planets or something with 3 accounts in EVE Online.
But you were able to use that Omega on. You could use like that 1 Omega for all those accounts, though, or were those are all separate Omegas?
No, you had only 1 Omega. Then you skill the other characters to have maximum planet harvesting skills. Then you kind of stop the skilling, and you just keep harvesting the planets, and it's kind of for free.
See, that's the thing, is that alt that I logged in today has 555 planetary on it. And yeah, it's just like, shoot, I don't know if I want to
but in EVE Echoes it's a bit different. Yeah.
Right. All right. So, needless to say, more content coming from coming for alpha players. So we'll wait and see what they bring to the game in that sense. Moving on with the questions, though. Have the team ever thought of adding Wormhole Space, J-Space, in EVE Echoes? Ooh. It would add so much new content and a new way of living as well. Cloud says, thank you for your suggestion. We will have similar new content before adding Wormhole Space. Stay tuned. Okay.
Similar to Wormhole Space.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this isn't a CCP game, and so therefore they have to change things up a bit. They're not copying. So like, what was it? Something was said today. I think is the supers. The supers, they're named differently than what they are in EVE Online, and that's a whole licensing thing. Yes, they look the same. They're the same size and space, all that stuff, but they have a different name. Same thing can go. And we can see the same thing here. Yes, it may not be a wormhole, but it could be a gravitational presence instead. And it would be the same, it had the same mechanics of a wormhole. You can go in there, it would be like an NDS. You look at rocks, you can maybe put an outpost in there. It's got a couple other, maybe it's got one other gate that you can check or go in and out of. I have a feeling it's going to be similar, maybe not the same. Now, I've never played EVE Online enough to even get close to a wormhole, so I have no idea how wormholes exist in EVE Online and what people do in them or whatever they do. So that whole experience is just going to be new to me, and I'm sure it's going to be new to a lot of people too.
Yeah, it's basically like Nihilus Space, what we have, but you can actually continue to, like, inside, let's say that Nihilus is now Wormhole Space. So inside the Nihilus, you can like find new wormholes, and then you continue to a next wormhole system, and then they kind of connect, but they're like randomly open. So you can't like directly access like a wormhole system. You need to kind of wait for the right wormhole to open, then go. But I used to do a lot of hunting when I played EVE Online in wormholes. I just went to a random wormhole and then another random, and then suddenly I'm like 56 jumps from my home base, and I am somewhere in nullsec or like in a dead end system in random.
Yeah. And I've been seeing this being asked quite a bit as to when we're going to get Wormhole Space and blah, 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 right? And there's certain personalities have been really pushing it for a long time, which is understandable. But I've always stayed optimistic as to, okay, yes, maybe not in 2023, but who's to say that they won't happen in 2024? It's still a really young game, and people are having, they have all these wants. They want this, they want that, they want this, and they want everything right away, when it's not necessarily the case. This hints that they have something on the way. We don't have a time frame, but they are working on content like this. It's so far, these are pretty good questions, I would have to say. We're getting actually hints as to what they have for upcoming content, rather than your pointless Q&A questions. Like, we do see those. There are some pretty funny Q&A questions, but these ones happen to be pretty decent in my mind so far.
Yeah, very good.
So next question.
Yeah, let's see what's the next one.
I was wondering if it's planned to add more events based off anime theme. Maybe a collaboration with famous animes. They are great and valuable. Damn it, I can't talk. They are great and valuable on what devs are currently aiming for near to medium future. It complete the dev roadmap, and it makes players feel eared on some expectations. They said, Cloud says, good idea. We will certainly consider such collaboration if the opportunity arises. Okay, well, I'd have to look back at the Trello map. I don't have it in front of me. But we know that they had a roadmap for 2, maybe 3 years of content. And maybe on that 3rd year or 4th year, I mean, we can't see it just yet. So they already have all their events planned for the year, and then they just follow along that time frames. We knew that there's going to be another Interstellar Bazaar, just like we know that there's going to be another anniversary event, and we know that there's going to be another Christmas event, and so on, right? Now, how many of those are going to be anime events or similar to what this event is that we're doing now, with the core, with the anime gamer girls on there and stuff like that? And maybe that's what they're aiming at, is trying to get more famous animes as ship skins and stuff like that. Personally, I don't care if they're events. Honestly, they should just add them as ship skins, like we already get and can purchase and trade on the market with these Iristar skins that people are getting in these op boxes. People are selling these. I mean, that's a market just in itself to get those anime skins for the ships that they want. I get an op box. I get one for a Malice. I don't even own a Malice. What the heck am I going to do with this? I'm just going to sell it to someone who may want it for the Malice. So you know what I mean? There's a whole supply and demand thing there. And I think with the skins, that's a great idea. Nanocores, okay, cool if they do. Cool if they don't. Okay, I'm fine with that too. But for this to be reoccurring, they would definitely be more successful adding the skins rather than a paid nanocore, I think, in my mind. And You know, whether or not they do
Yeah.
it. You know, they say it's a great idea. I'm sure they made a lot of money on this last event with the latest nanocore and skins that people are getting from the event and boxes and AOR purchases and all that stuff. But then there's a lot of people that didn't like it either. So you know, you can only please so many people, I guess. So we'll see.
Yeah.
No matter what they do, there's going to be
Myself.
people that hate it.
Yeah. I'm a like a free to play player, so I haven't used any real money in this game, and I'm kind of like always like, oh man, that's a cool skin and cool nanocore. Damn, like, I can't get that. But like for now, if I want a cool skin, I'll keep checking the markets and hope someone will put a reasonable price for a cool skin. Like
Yeah.
I would love an Atron Interceptor anime skin, but it's like 4 billion in the market.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like I could buy a nightmare for that money.
Yeah. Man, I remember back when nightmares were 16 plus billion. You remember those days?
Oh, the coffee went to the wrong place. Oh god.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of when we started the game. Do you remember when we did like Dead Space anomalies and we get like ridiculous amount of ISK? Like it was like, I don't know, 10 billion for Dead Space, or like it was ridiculous. Like
Right.
nowadays it's much harder to get rich.
Yeah.
Like
And CNDS, you know, before Fax Debris was super popular, or at least more popular to the point where it got to, and then the NDS that people were spawning off of the outposts. I remember those were pulling 5 to 8 billion in loot back when those came out, and then all that stuff dropped like crazy. I think you're
now it's
lucky to get 800 mil.
200.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I think some of the last ones I did before we just dumped the dumb things was 800 mil. Like this sucks. It's not even worth doing them anymore. It's more of a hassle to coordinate all of them and all that stuff to spawn the stupid things for that much and loot value. So
Yeah,
unless you
it's
really
like
needed it,
if you have the planetary harvesting boss things, they make like every week passively like 400, 500 million, and the NDS spawn thingy, it has like 1 week cooldown or something.
yeah,
Yeah, so you get passively almost the same amount of ISK without doing anything.
right. Yeah, that's why it's like, well, screw it. Just put 2 PI mods and you'll make more ISK than you would throwing, say, 1 PI mod and then the NDS mod on there, the gravitational wave graph or whatever it's called. You know,
Yeah.
we're just dumping them. We're like, yeah, we're not gonna bother with these anymore. Just throw PI mods on, and you're gonna make more money with that. So, yep. Anywho, more great anime stuff coming in the future.
Let's hope we get Dragon Ball Super skins.
You know,
And
yeah. When I read this, I was thinking like people are gonna get their Hello Kitty, their Dragon
no,
Ball Z,
yes.
insert MAGA name here. You know, I don't know that much in anime, but a lot of the player base does and are fans of that. So, hey, cool.
Yeah,
Good
I
on them.
use anime GIFs in my videos a lot. Like usually, I like the Gundam Mobile Suit anime style. It's like mechanical suits, and then they fight in all sorts of places.
Yeah.
Very nice.
No, this is probably considered new school anime, but I used to watch Pokemon back in the day when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
Pokemon.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's good.
Yeah. Those are the shows. All right.
Did you know that Pokemon is still running? There are like new worlds and things, like new
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, they just hit over 1,000 Pokemon. Like Gen 9 has over 1,000 Pokemon now in total.
Crazy. Still going.
Yep. I keep up with all the games. All right. Last question. Considering the range of many weapon systems has changed dramatically due to skills, etc., do you plan on increasing the range at which ships can orbit in the future? We do not have plans to do this as it would further increase a PvP advantage for long-range ships. Please appreciate your we appreciate your inquiry and hope you continue to enjoy the game. So
More range.
more range.
100 kilometers is like, I think it's pretty good range to orbit stuff.
I don't do
You
personally. I don't have a reason to orbit at 100 km or more. I do know that there's strike fit ships that could orbit at say easily 150. You get some Ravens depending on implants and mods. You're hitting 350. You got tornadoes out there hitting 700. It could be crazy stuff. And people want to be able to orbit at those types of ranges, but I mean,
yeah,
that's
like,
a rare occasion.
And there's a thing that if you like fighting against NPC in anomaly, if the range is more than 250 kilometers, the rats, they don't move or react or do anything.
Right.
You basically
They
kill
don't
them.
aggro.
So
yeah.
So why don't, I don't know, what are you going to orbit from that range? It's kind of strange.
Well, it's not like they're going to hit you anyway. They could barely hit you at 100, let alone hit you at 150 plus. So the rats would need adjustments too. Granted,
and
well, even the carriers will only go out to 250. So
yeah, and they move very slow. Kind of would take a long time, and only weapons that can shoot like beyond 100 kilometers is missiles and probably the sniper implant thing, which is used in PvP.
Yeah, I know with strike cannons you can get over that. Some drone range you can get over that. Definitely missiles. Yeah, I've seen the Ravens. But
strange question.
I don't think there's really necessarily a need for it. And I guess neither did the devs. People want a rat at 120 maybe instead of 100. It is what it is. Granted, my AI bot wants to orbit at 16, and I think it's absolutely dumb. So dumb. It's like, let us turn that off. I just want to sit still. But sometimes I find myself, because the ship is trying to evade the frigate that's trying to tackle it, I end up like 170 km out, and I can't hit anything else. Yeah, the AI bot definitely needs some adjustments.
I remember when Shiv is a content creator also, and he made a rap song in some point, and it was about the intelligent nanocar. And there was like, should you get it? It's intelligent, and you're not. Was the slogan for that, and then like, yeah. Why do you need the intelligent nanocore? Because you're not intelligent.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I heard that, but it's not ringing a bell, at least not right away. So, yeah, I'd have to go back and listen to his latest songs, but let me see if there's anything else as far as announcements goes. Patch
It's
notes.
only 3 questions.
Yeah, we went over that. So June 28th had the patch notes. I don't remember it being anything super crazy. Oh, now I remember. So For optimizations, the evaluation was updated based on market transaction records. So that's your weekly update. Everybody knows. So get this one.
Everything.
The corporation's Citadel upgrade process will not be interrupted if the damage taken when upgrading is less than 10% of its max shield. Does this one ring a bell?
You need to remind me. I don't remember.
I will say this. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. There is certain corps out there that were holding T4 upgrades for days at a time, hours for sure, but possibly days at a time, because they were able to warp in, shoot the Citadel, and warp out. So they were able to pause it from doing its upgrade. What this does is it takes that away. It will not be interrupted if the damage taken is less than 10% of its max shield. So those same people, they'd have to sit there and take 10% of a T3 Citadel shield in order to pause that T4 upgrade. So, were you reminded?
That.
Okay.
Because I was attacking also some citadels, and it's a thing, you know. Sometimes you see just a noob ship, the starter rookie ship, just coming out from a boss and yeeting itself at the citadel, shooting it one time and pausing it 15 minutes, and then another noob ship after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
But that kind of stopped because now we know that you can build super capitals in ITC stations. So, you know, it's kind of pointless now to shoot.
I don't know.
Kind of.
Then you don't have to move it and move all the parts and all that stuff. Your corporation industry is potentially within that citadel or a nearby citadel that is a T4, and so you probably do want that closer to home rather than in an ITC. Now there are some ITCs that are in nullsec. For instance, I know of the one. Well, heck, I was at that one earlier today in Great Wildlands, so we know there's one out there. There's one in Tinol. But
but those places are going to be like pumping out the super capitals in some point.
Are they? Because if I go to that ITC in Tinol, I can guarantee you there's one person in the system. Like nobody uses it. So
now after this show, they're like, "Oh, Yubi, he's a smart guy." The ITCs will be like a strategic place where all the big alliances want to have and control. That is what I'm thinking.
Nah, you can have it. Not everybody wants them, so.
But you can skip the T4 citadels. You don't need them. Just build it in the ITC.
Okay. Well, how about for the energy point factor of a T4 Citadel? You go from 130 to 210. So right there, you can upgrade all of your structure add-ons and include even more add-ons without needing multiple sovs.
That would be really cool. You kind of have the space labs and bounty thingies and all the stuff. Yeah,
that's one thing that I was waiting for. Yeah, I was waiting for before supers were even a twinkle in the dev's eyes. I was like, we need more energy points. Is there going to be a T4 Citadel, and is it going to include more energy points? And it was yes, and we ended up getting it. So I was at least happy about that. Then it just so happened that they're going to release super carriers and have them as a T4 as a prerequisite to being able to even dock in it. So that was news to at least me. But you know, EO vets or whomever, they probably already knew, like, oh, that you need a certain citadel in order to dock them, or they could only dock into ITCs. That's understandable. But there's a lot of other great benefits that the T4s have, and if you upgrade the corporation tech tree, then I mean they're pretty dang good. They're pretty dang good. You even get more energy points, more shield points, more armor points, more anomaly stuff. It's crazy good. So corporations
I
want
hope
that.
to see it someday.
If they don't want a T4 Citadel, honestly, I'm not going to call them dumb, but maybe they should rethink their SOVs if they don't have at least one T4 and are using it. So, I don't know, it's just me. So, bug fixes.
I haven't seen any T4 Citadels, by the way. I don't know, is there any?
Where have you been? I thought you, like, roam around.
Yeah, I do, but, you know, it's kind of rare. I haven't seen any T4. It would have been amazing to film for a video, like how it looks.
Well,
but I don't know.
Come to my system and record it. Actually, I've already seen footage of my system all over freaking YouTube right now. Anyway, if you want to see a T4 Citadel, watch some of the other PvP content creators. Because they're freaking sitting on the undock of my Citadel. But
God damn.
You know, oddly enough, I was gonna insert a void joke in there as to you not seeing any, but
yeah, we're lucky if we have like T2 Citadels or something. But, you know,
the Pravi Corp that I'm in is even got a T4 Citadel, and freaking Void Corps don't. What? How's that happening?
Yeah, I always say that I'm from Void, and it's like the ghetto slums of Eve Echoes. Everything is rough. The rats are tough, and you know.
Yeah. Well, I have heard that Void does have them. They've just been delayed. So, there you go. Next YouTube video for Jubilee, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah, need to go have a look.
Bug fixes. They fixed an issue where some of the capital ships Airstar, the Diva skins, could not be traded. They fixed an issue where the capital ships Airstar, the skin, or Diva skin, was placed under the wrong market category. I did not see that, though it would have been funny. I'm still laughing about the Scordite rock that had a ship skin able to go onto it, though I didn't see any of these.
Is it like a cube?
No, it wasn't a cube. It was a literal. It was a literal like asteroid, and they had the skin, and it's like, okay, what ship do you want? And it had question marks, and the image was an asteroid. Like, how does that happen? It's all question marks. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I bet the question marks are good thing to add in that point.
All right. So let's see what else we got. Official media doesn't seem like there's anything new there. 629, we actually did get some player support news. Is there background music for the Starbeat Nanocore? No, there is no background music. Can the extra skin for the Starbeat Nanocore be applied when the Nanocore is not activated? They said yes, the extra skin can be applied individually. If a player leaves the corporation and came back to the corporation, can the luck points be restored? The luck points don't change when a player leaves a corporation. Okay, well, those aren't questions that I had, but I'm glad somebody asked them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Kind of weird questions.
Right, yeah. All right, Discord announcements. So we had the Super Capital Content Creator Clash And as both I and Jubileus know, we are the first amongst the losers of the group.
Oh,
I lost
yeah,
in the
I
first
still feel
round.
ashamed.
Yeah, we were some of the first losers. Let's see. So it was Damon Zell versus Maddie. It was Gengar versus me. We had Jubileus versus Joe Joseph, and we had Taylor Rick versus Jakara. So this was the first for the Super Capital Content Creator Clash. So I'm guessing that we're probably going to have some more of these types of events down the road whenever they release new ships. And we'll jump onto the Fulmination server, spawn them in, and give them insane DPS and rig modifications and X types and all this stuff on it, and send them out into space and face each other. So during that time, during this event, this happened earlier today, and during that time, they were giving away discount codes as well. So I did see they're giving away 10% discount codes, 30% discount codes, as well as 50% discount codes. Now, that was news to me. I didn't know they were going to give away 50s. I was told they weren't going to be giving away any more 50s, but it's possible that they had some stashed away that they were going to, save for this type of event. So right here, we could see the breakdown. I know my screen doesn't fill it in completely on the stream, but Gengar made it to the final. Gengar had knocked me out. Gengar had knocked Matty Huh out, and he went to the finals. So me and Damon were first amongst losers. And then Joe Joseph ended up going all the way to the finals. Joe Joseph beat Jubileus, and then Taylor Rick beat Jakara. Joe Joseph beat Taylor, hence going to the finals versus Gengar, and then ultimately Gengar won in his Wyvern, and his Wyvern was tanked to the max. Like, I don't think I did anything. You know, what's funny is I actually have the clip. So on the YouTube stream, like I said, we posted it on the Echoes of New Eden YouTube channel, so you can go there and check out that video. But the last couple minutes of mine, of my death, I guess you could say, I have that clipped out right here. We'll play it. Oh no!
Don't forget to hide the HUD when he blows up.
Yeah, we're gonna want to see that.
I'm just tickling him.
Not even doing anything. Yeah, what's your volleys look like? I can't see your screen up close.
36, 72, 36.
3600, 7200.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not doing jack shit to him. So he's tanked. I'm assuming integrated rigs because we can.
Yeah.
We'll have a. I'm curious to see what this kill mill is.
I got a fair amount of damage.
Do you have a fair amount of damage? Yeah, I'd love to see what the fit is for the Wyvern when we get done here, because you're still able to dish out quite a bit of DPS. Taking the armor down.
I got 54,000 DPS, but it's not doing crap to him.
Nope.
54.
That's not horrible, but that's probably on the low end of what a carrier can do.
That's a max skills.
Yeah, I mean, that means your fit is... I'm not sure what your fit is if you're only at 54 and you got your shield stripped that damn fast in the hell.
You'll see it.
We will see it, because you're about to die. your structure is about at 40% at this point.
Hail Mary!
Hit your emergency hole or something. This is bad. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Remind me to never let Rambo cap FC in silent.
Right. I never get that honor.
I probably won't either. Who we kidding? I hope I don't die this bad.
Finish me off.
Dead. He's gone. Look at that. 3 minutes and 50 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That is going to be a tough Wyvern to beat. Ouch. Ouch.
Where's the explosion?
Wait, hold on a minute. You had X-type boosters, but you had storyline extended.
Hey, chill out.
Did he have prototype rigs on?
Chill out.
Did he have prototype rigs
That's
on
rough.
again? Did
You had Power Grid on?
I want to see this kill me.
Power Grid rigs on.
No, we don't have nanocores on the Fulmination server. Otherwise, we would have had those on as well. Look at this, 1.4 trillion. Insurance doesn't work on the Fulmination server, so don't worry about the non-compensatable part. Yeah, good grief. Hey, more codes being put up in between rounds by Masaka. Go ahead and check out the chat on the side window here. Look at all that.
Good fight,
shit.
Gengar.
Yeah,
Good fight.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But
So that was my highlight of the event. It was pretty fun, and I watched the entire thing, and I was doing a spectator view and all that type of stuff for the people that chose to watch my screen on the studio on the official Discord. So it was pretty cool. What do you say there, Jubileus? You still awake? You still with me?
Yes, I'm here. I enjoyed very much of these tournaments. I've tried to do some tournaments like in the live server, but this was very cool to have these super carriers. I won't never afford to fly one in the real server.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a once in a lifetime thing, and I hope we will get something more, and very soon. It's like a drug. You can't stop it. You need to have more. You know.
Yeah. Yep. So my hell was 1.4 trillion, and that was Fulmination estimated pricing. And so I had X types on it. Like this would have been like a near impossible fit. I mean, granted, I just threw a fit together. I'm not a capital pilot in any sense. I'm barely a PvP pilot, if you can even call me a PvP pilot. But I threw this fit together thinking, okay, maybe I can do something, and ended up just getting wrecked real quick by that Wyvern. So I know in the screenshot here I have X types, but I had T4 integrated rigs and all that stuff out to the max.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so this was one of the more expensive ones. I think Joe Joseph, his was like 1.6 or 1.7 trillion. Yeah, it's insane. It's kind of funny as I shared this in the general chat of the Echoes Discord, the official one, I mean.
Yeah.
And people are like, oof, if that's legit, oof. Yeah. Like, no, it's not legit.
We have in the Void Alliance, we have this ship replacement program. So like in any PvP fleet situation, you can claim SRP, and I'll put the Ion kill mail. It's like, was it like 900 billion?
Yeah.
But I think my Ion was probably one of the cheapest ones in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for whatever reason. And then I know Damon, he barely threw a fit together 5 minutes before the match. Was having issues right ahead of time as well, and he lost terribly, though I still hold the record for dying the fastest. Now, had Maddie attacked Damon, like the ship, instead of attacking the fighters at first, then maybe Damon would have died quicker, but I at least hold that to my name. I was the first.
No shame. No shame. It's okay. It's you can say that there's in that tournament there is like a very good capital ship pilots, and they have like probably some knowledge what works best. The big ships.
I don't think anybody had any money on me whatsoever. Anyway, I mean, I was like, me versus Gengar, hell, I ain't gonna last. I didn't even have faith in myself, let alone anybody else. I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna lose, but you know, it is what it is. But that was a fun little event.
My probably I had this strategy what we normally use in the normal server, that we defang, kill the fighters, and then kill the carrier.
Yeah.
But then I started to think that they have 300 reserve fighters. But still, I was like, I must do this plan. I can't. If you change the plan in the middle of a fight, you'll lose.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of.
I did realize later that I did have a screw up, and it wasn't necessarily that it was the screw up in my fit, because it was supposed to be a PvP fit. But in order to do the tournament like we did, we were all in a fleet. And so when I activated my super carrier cover mod, I was actually protecting Gengar at the same time I was attacking him. So that didn't help me whatsoever. It wasn't until later at the Maddie vs. Gengar, where they realized that, oh crap, you're actually giving me a buff instead of, I guess, not, and doing more damage potentially. And so then they had to cut that out.
We will having lots of laughs in the tournament, that the what they called the command bursts and everything. You give like bonuses to your opponent because you're in the same fleet. But then they started to drop out of the fleet because they kind of understand. Like the first matches, we kind of went and then realized, like in the halfway in the tournament, that by the way, you get these bonuses.
Yeah, it's like, why am I getting buffed? Oh wait, yeah. Oh, turn that off. Leave the fleet. Yep. Yeah. So I had the cover mod on. Didn't help me whatsoever. Damon probably didn't even have one on his ship, so I don't think it would have helped him anyway. But it wasn't until after it was the Maddie vs. Gengar match that was realized, and it is what it is. And so I shared the link in the on-air chat for those that may want to watch that at a later time. It's also on our YouTube channel, so it'll be there for eternity as well. You can go over there and look. So
I'm going to definitely watch that video.
Yeah. So, as far as other stuff, I think we're probably going to call it a short show today because, aside from the game news, the content creator clash, I did hear one story about the Knights down in Esoteria. What happened to that alliance? They disband? Because there's corporations down there that are allianceless. So I was curious. I actually inquired about this the other day, got no reply. So I'm not sure if the Knights had actually disbanded the alliance, and so what's going on with all those corps and stuff in the south.
That's very weird.
So if you look at the map now, Esoteria now has the Burr logo on it. So I'm curious if some of them had become renters. I mean, granted, they were already accused of being Burr renters in the first place, without being part of that alliance, but I wonder how many are just going to go into Burr and rent from them. So yeah, interesting development in the south, and maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll hear some more about that later, or see where some of those corporations go as far as which alliances that they're going into, or if they're going to create a new one. But otherwise, what else is there going on in New Eden as far as wars or juicy stories and politics? I think it's been pretty quiet in that sense.
I don't know. It's I've actually been in a lot of PvP fleets like this week, so I have this kind of feeling that it's picking up speed to something cool, probably. But I don't know. It's been like the last month, kind of the war kind of stopped, or I don't know. One side said it stopped, another one says it continues, but a lot less of the PvP fleets. What there was like 5 months ago.
Right.
But hopefully.
SHH still has their fair share of PvP roamers going through. If it's not dealing with AOA during Asian Prime Time, and then it's dealing with Void and their roamers and VLTs roaming SHH amongst others and solo people and all that. So it's definitely they're definitely seeing action. It's not like they're up there crabbing it up like some other alliances may be. So and it could be, you know, I don't go out roaming all the time, so I'm not sure what other alliances get as far as traffic and roamers going through their space. Honestly, I could care less, but yeah, it's just kind of the normal thing. I know a lot of my members they're like used to it, so it's like, all right, what's this guy in? Okay, whatever, you know, it is what it is. So, but as far as like the war stuff, yeah, it has died down quite a bit.
You should try Heron Explorer's Blink fleet. That's a very fun fleet, and anyone can join in. It's how to say, I was in 2 fleets now on the weekend, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Now I used to fly with Heron. Actually, no, I was thinking of somebody else that used to do a lot of frigate roams and whatnot. That was back at the early days of the most recent server war, and then they had since moved to Pravi, oddly enough, to get out of the politics. But yeah, a lot of that stuff. I'm just not big into doing the whole PvP roaming thing. I got better things to do, honestly. I would rather just deal with Corp stuff and work on Corp progression and ISK generation, all that, rather than go and roam around some random space and kill a couple of ratters and miners. It's just not my thing. So, yeah.
I understand. No problem.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I like, you know, I've seen the videos of the Blink fleet, and he gets a lot of you know, good reviews and stuff, and people have a lot of fun. I could relate that to, say, Joda in Silent Alliance. You know, he gets a lot of his fleets tend to be really fun just because of how crazy that they can get and how much how well he FCs those fleets. Those are fun. Those are pretty fun. But like when I'm joining those, I'm only doing it in CTAs. Like kind of like, okay, yeah, I want to join that so I can either defend my space or attack whatever the objective was for the war. So, you know, that case was fun. But just random roams, hey man, if that's his thing, that's his thing. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Yeah, sure.
It's good training, you know. Like you don't get rusty when you do it kind of frequently. If you do like PvP like once in a month, then you're probably not so good if you like do it every day, you know. I always fear that I get rusty. Need to train my skills, have good you know, muscle memory.
Yeah, you don't want to become a crabber. Then you'll never go back.
No.
Especially if you get into capitals.
Oh God. I'm actually trying to. I made a video advertisement, and the customer paid me with Sciencey blueprint. I was very, very excited. Now I have reason to, you know, collect stuff and try to build it someday.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my projects of my own, and they're not necessarily done in one day. So good to have those types of goals. Speaking of,
yeah, I think
since you mentioned
continue.
Yeah, since you mentioned that, I was like, dude, I was searching for commercials to play on this episode. Now, granted, it's a bit short tonight, so I'm probably not gonna play. We'll probably end it here shortly. But I need more commercials. So people that are recruiting, people that just want to make something just for jokes, Jubileus.
If you
If you want to promote, if you want to promote your channel and make a commercial, either you can make it or have me make one, and I could play it on the show during our commercial breaks and all that type of stuff. And this goes out New Eden wide. I don't care who you are. You can send me a commercial. I'll play it for free. Even I don't even charge.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Free.
Yeah. I don't even
What
charge.
Is this free?
What is this?
That is what. Yeah.
No.
Like when you usually you're like, oh, can we do like an advertisement or something? Then it's like, oh,
No.
6 billion is.
if you want me to make it, then I'm gonna charge. But if you make it and you send it to me, I'll just play it for free. Yeah, playing it is for free. If it's whether or not you want me to make it and spend time on it, that's where the money comes in. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to make a commercial about the YouTube channel. You know, I don't know. Very hard to think of how can I do it.
You can try it, and then when you get sick and tired of doing it and you don't like it, then you can contact me and I'll do it for you.
Okay.
For 10 bill. But anyway.
Oh, damn it.
Dude, that's nothing. That's nothing to you. That's nothing to you.
Oh man.
That's
I
the
only
elite
have
PvP
3
weekly.
right now.
That's elite PvP weekly bonus right there for you.
Oh, damn.
All right, stay with me there, Jubilees. We're almost done.
Okay, I'm still like 10 billion. 10 billion.
All right. And actually, with that, we are going to close out the show. Yes, I know it's a little bit short, and I always make fun of Taylor for doing so, but honestly, really not much stuff has happened in the last week, and so I think I will be happy at calling it a short show. So with that, we will start the outro. And this is generally where I have Taylor just off the cuff do a shout out for content creators. Jubilees, I don't know if you've made it this far in a podcast, one of ours listening back, but we shout out the content creators that are currently creating content for Eve Echoes. So like your Damon Zells, Captain Benzies, your Jubileuses, your Heron Explorers, your Jakaras, Hale, Rambo, Echoes of New Eden Podcast, Taylor. Let's see, who else is making content out there? How did it go back? Joe Joseph. I mean, we had all the people and the content creator clash today. Maddie, Gengar, they're still creating content. Not sure if Chicken is anymore, but as usual, I would say support your local content creators. And like and subscribe, as well as subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed to it. We are always providing content, at least on a weekly basis, and if I can get Taylor to make some more videos, kick him in the ass a little bit, then maybe we'll have a couple videos a week. But with that that content creator clash, as well as the podcast for this week, there you go. There's 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of content for you. So everybody, thank you for joining. Jubileus, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me here, and let's see if I can come next time someday.
All right, yeah. Sometime, hey man, you're welcome on the show anytime. If you decide you want to stay up or wake up super early, man, anytime.
All right, thank you.
All right, 07 everybody.